Woo! It is cold. I'm Davey Blue Jay. Sipping some tea out of my favorite mushroom mug as per usual. And here to talk to y'all today about Davey decides on which topic that he's going to speak on right now. Just pretend that's written there in subtitles. I'm gonna speak to y'all about, I have a couple in mind. The way I do this is I have a list. I write out a bunch of topics and I just start talking about it. Today, I'm gonna go with high on weed to life. That's gonna be what the name of this video is, because as you may know from past videos, first of all, let me introduce myself a little bit. My birth name is David Tang. I go by Davey Blue Jay. I started going by that musically a couple years ago, but now people call me that as my name also. You can call me Davey. I actually mainly go by Davey now. You can call me Davey Blue Jay, call me Davey. I'm a rock and roll musician. I'm a lo-fi musician, folk as well, psychedelic art. Some of my main influences are the Beatles, the Grateful Dead, Velvet Underground, Bob Dylan, as well as Violent Femmes. Anyway, I'm gonna talk to you about going from high on weed to life, because I've been through quite a change, quite a journey and transformation over the last couple of years, and part of that did have to do with deciding to go on from full-on stoner mode, I'd smoke all the time, to sober, even from weed, and I don't drink, I don't do any other substances as well, which might surprise some people who just see me, because, the title is high on weed to life. I do my best to live every ounce out of life, to live in the present as often as possible, and to just live each day like it's my last. I am a yogi. I practice meditation. I practice yoga. I do live very meditatively. And speaking on, if you check out my self-concept video, part of the reason I feel that we take on self-concepts, or you start going by different titles, is because when you behave in that way, it's almost just logical to label it that, and to impart more understanding of who you are, how you're living, and where you're coming from to others. Excuse me, I need a tissue. I'm back. So, if you met this giggly guy on the street, right, and we were strangers, me telling you I'm a yogi, I'm a spiritual practitioner, I'm a wizard, and I have been committed to staying sober and meditating almost daily, and spiritually practicing, doing therapy, every week, for the last half a year, and I'm very committed to working on myself. I'm single. I'm, working on learning how to, every day learning to love myself more, learning to prioritize my needs more. It paints a picture of understanding, so I'm getting a little into self-concept here, right? And how you see yourself is powerful, and how I see, how we see ourselves is powerful. But anyway, so I went from high on weed to high on life. Within yoga, and meditation is one of the limbs of yoga, I started really embracing my weirdness and my uniqueness, right? And I started just paying attention to things that I would do when I'm high. Nothing against weed. You know, I definitely learned from my relationship, my journey with weed, but it got to a point where it was time to let it go. And I knew that there was a lot of potential that I had within me to tap into, to uncover the next versions of my true self if I let go of the weed. Okay? And so, you know, I knew that there was just more in me to achieve, more in me to accomplish, and that I'd be much more discipline and devotion without the weed. So if you saw me a couple years ago, I was giving off very like stoner vibes, and you know, if I, you know, so it would make a lot more sense if I told you, you know, I smoked weed all the time back then than it does now. But anyway, and now I teach at a rehab center too, because I've learned through my own experiences some tools and insights that helped me, so it felt natural for me to help other people as well with that understanding, even though there are definitely people who have you know have been born into situations with way worse, way more challenging circumstances and way more challenging addictions than me. I still feel I'm able to give in that way and help, and it's felt very natural for me working at this rehab center, and sharing, like, I'm a wellness instructor, so I share meditations and tools and mindfulness insights and practices and exercises and worksheets and music healing exercises too, because I'm a musician, and a lot of my journey, kind of involving weed, but then not involving weed was and other substances, was music. So anyway, going from on weed to life has involved reflecting on the things that I like to do high, and realizing that I don't need weed or other substances I don't really care to mention, with those same things. So for instance, music. I used to strum away at the guitar high after work in LA in my car, getting high as a kite, strumming and feeling that flow state. Okay, that area where of feeling where you're not thinking about anything else because it just feels so good and you're lost in the sauce and you're not thinking, right? Now I can access that without any substances. Okay, and you know what's great about that is that substances used to have side effects where suddenly it's like, oh, I'm having like an existential crisis, or I just feel like depressed now, or I just feel I'm starting to have a panic attack, right? Or I'm starting to get just really self-conscious right now, and I think this has to do with the substances, right? So what I love about being high on life now is that I'm able to embrace the things, the tools that I learned on weed and the things that I like to do on weed. I'll just crack up. I'll do laughter yoga, as it's called. I'll go into a state of laughter, just sober, in my own control, and practice that and with others, and it's a really wholesome thing. And I don't need, and I can still be grounded, so I can still operate. There's a bunny right under the camera that's just like kicking it with me. I love it. He lives under my home too. He's like right over here. I wish I could see you or show you with my vision. He's going under my car, he or she. But anyway, I can still have a lot of fun and connect to lightness and still be grounded and not feel like kind of out of the control or super like insecure or different side effects I would get on weed. I'm still human. I talked a lot about that in my last video. I'm very human, still experience insecurities. But anyway, being committed to my spiritual practices and to having fun and playing with my inner child. It may sound very hippie, but that's what it is, baby. Playing with my inner child, allowing myself to be free, you know, like go running in nature, you know, have a naked dance party in my living room by myself. like, just, yeah, experience life, just rock out. It's like, there's something so freeing and liberating knowing that I can have this much fun without any substances, because I can still also, like exercise this mindfulness in my life that you don't otherwise have. Often substances, they're either to escape, and it can be, and you can lose your mind with substances, so you escape and you lose your mind, or you numb your mind, right? But that's not the kind of fun that I'm interested in anymore, that I have anymore, I love my mind. And living sober and just embracing life in the ways that I have fun with the people I have fun with doing it, it's very heart-centered. And I don't really care to numb my way through the rest of my life. I want to suck every ounce out of it, ounce out of life. I have had psychedelic experiences, and you could call it, and like, near death kind of experiences, or at least that, that kind of those spiritual experiences that have changed the way that I live and care to live. Okay. So anyway, whether you've had like existential kind of experiences like that or not, the real question, and is just how do you want to spend your time? If today was your last day, how would you spend it? Personally, I believe that my time, the amount of time in my death day, like the day that I die, is between me and God. And yeah, I care to have my life be a life well lived. And anyway, I figured I'd just let y'all know, tell you a bit about the backstory and my reasons for living the way that I do. I've never felt more clear-headed and true to who I am than I do now, and the last couple years of sobriety, of living with purpose and in devotion to Goddess, to God, to the universe, and just doing my best in all my humanness and all my flaws. It's felt good. So I like talking about the journey, and I'm still learning and changing, So anyway, drop a comment if you relate to any of this stuff or what you find interesting about it. And subscribe. Listen to my music, DaveyBlueJay.com. I love y'all. Peace.